Namaskar Friends, this is NJ, your host on this channel. In this video, we will have our discussion around the concept of bending karma. That from your natal chart, if you have to understand the accumulated karmas from the past so many lifetimes, what could be the approach in order to decode that? Like the way guys, your soul has chosen to born in a specific planetary alignments only to endure the result of your karmas only, to burn out all those accumulated karma as well. So how we can look at that? So first of all, like the way you know, I always give you a backstory that how come I chose this random topic for today's upload. So definitely guys, it's my weekly off. I was out there on a morning stroll and on a very beautiful boat, I saw this thing carved as karma. And over and above that, even the transiting moon is conjunct with Saturn as well at the time when I'm recording this video. So I just thought that we can have our discussion around the planet Saturn only. And also guys, there is one pattern which I have seen that whenever like there is a full moon, new moon, transiting moon is conjunct with Ketu. So during those alignments, it's the influence of the planets that even the readings which I receive. So people are only interested about knowing about their soul purpose, their life purpose, or they want to know that whatsoever they are doing in this lifetime, has it got some connection with the past as well? They are curious that have they knowingly or unknowingly hurt someone in the past lifetimes. So our natal chart has got lot of like encrypted code which can actually give you answer for that. And definitely guys, when we talk about the concept of karma, I do not want to sound very fancy. I do not want to complicate things. The only one planet which can give you answer to that is the planet Saturn. Now guys, like the way I have seen these days, people follow lot many approaches. Like they look at Saturn's third house from Saturn, 10th house from Saturn, Saturn's aspect. But I personally feel, and what I have seen in my research is that only digging deep where Saturn is placed in your chart, in which zodiac sign it is placed, which all planets are conjunct with planet Saturn, and most importantly, nakshatra of Saturn can actually give you deeper insight to that. So yes guys, first of all, let's just start our discussion from the basics. So first of all, what does planet Saturn represent? So in one line, if I were to say, in the modern day context, Saturn can be described as the Kalyug ka dukh. It is the grief of modern times. So whatsoever Saturn will give you, Saturn will not leave its innate nature. If you have to go through the time period of Saturn, or you have to go through the path laid by Saturn, you have to go through hardship, struggle, strong endurance, and through grief as well, because these all are the qualities which the planet Saturn represents. But again guys, it all comes down to that whenever hardship comes or crisis comes in your life, what it will make out of you. Is it because of all the hardship and the struggle of life you're gonna get into drugs, you're gonna get into depression, or you're gonna take the route of just because I have endured so much, I will make sure that other people do not have to go through the similar pain. I will start doing some charities. I will start doing some, supporting some NGOs and all. So because of which the hardship of Saturn can actually make you or break you. But whenever we talk about all those profession where you have a control or influence over masses, Saturn represents that. Whenever we talk about anything to do with the status, Saturn is the chief responsible for that. Like the way when we talk about all those people who become president, who become country head, or even in the corporate world, they become a like regional continental heads and all. So unless and until Saturn is not strengthened, not strong in your chart, you might not be able to reach that position. And also guys, when we talk about Saturn's role, so you cannot even undermine this fact that the nakshatras ruled by the planet Saturn, they fall in those zodiac signs. The lord of those signs are not friendly with planet. So I will simplify it. Like the way, for example, Saturn has got the rulership over the Pushya nakshatra, Anuradha nakshatra, and Uttar Bhadrapada nakshatra. Now Pushya nakshatra is considered as so auspicious that so many muhurtas which are formed at the time when moon is transiting from Pushya nakshatra is considered as very auspicious. But where the energy of Pushya nakshatra falls, So the energy of Pushya Nakshatra falls in the Cancer sign. Now the lord of Cancer is Moon. Saturn sees it as its enemy. Now what does it mean? If your Saturn is placed in, let's say for example, Cancer, but within Cancer it is placed in the Pushya Nakshatra. So now what do you think? Saturn is strengthened in your case or Saturn is weak in your case? Trust me, with this kind of placement, I have seen people getting benefited, because the way it will benefit you is that definitely on surface, whenever hardship come, you might get shattered, you might get deeply moved, and because Cancer people are very easy to slip into depression and all, but the ultimate innate soul lesson, the drive, the motivation, the extract which you will derive, the chances are going to be very strong that you will get into the zone of comforting other people as well, giving nourishment to other people as well. So that is how you can decode layer by layer that if a planet is placed in a zodiac sign which is not very friendly to it, but within it, if the nakshatra energy, the pulse of that planet in the form of nakshatra is favorable to it, you can still extract good results. Now after that, guys, comes the Anuradha Nakshatra. Now in my case as well, like I still remember initially when I just started astrology and I used to discuss my chart, people used to say this thing that at the prime of your life you will go through the dasha of planet Saturn. Now just because your Saturn is placed in Scorpios, you will not get the good results, and trust me, I have designed my life completely in sync with the qualities of the Anuradha Nakshatra. My Saturn, my ascendant lord, they both are placed in the Anuradha Nakshatra. So Anuradha energy falls in the Scorpio. Now superficially looking at the chart or looking at the planet's dignity, you might come to this conclusion that okay, Saturn is placed in the Scorpio, which is not a friendly sign. But if within Scorpio Saturn is placed in the Anuradha Nakshatra, all the attributes of Anuradha, where we talk about group activities, we talk about friendliness, support from the friends, support from the community, like foreign settlement, anything to do with easily adapting or adjusting in a foreign culture, native can do very good over here. And definitely, guys, when we talk about the science of tarot, science of numerology, somehow they all are connected with the Anuradha Nakshatra. After that, guys, the other nakshatra of the planet Saturn, it falls in the Pisces sign. Now when we talk about on a surface level, the lord of Pisces, which is Jupiter, that might not be very friendly with the planet Saturn, but Saturn's nakshatra which falls over there, which is the Uttar Bhadrapada nakshatra, which is considered as one of the wisest nakshatra, which is considered as the epitome of spirituality. So that is the one thing, guys, which I wanted to say over here, that when it comes down to judging the strength or dignity of the planet Saturn, you cannot only restrict that in which zodiac sign planet is placed. Within zodiac sign, it's the energy of the nakshatra which will give you deeper insights. So guys, like the way when we talk about that the moon nakshatra, definitely moon nakshatra becomes very important, because moon nakshatra in itself carries the encapsulated information of all of your past lifetimes. Over and above that, if you have to do or if you have to perform any of the religious austerity to make peace with your planetary vibration, to kind of handle any of the hardship if you are going through, or just call the divine help, so the god or the devata which is connected with your moon nakshatra will always be there to help you. The very minute you will start invoking the help of that god which preside over your moon nakshatra, that god will definitely come. And that is the only reason, guys, if you go and perform any of the Vedic ritual in order to appease your planetary energies, the first thing which the priest will ask you is that what is your Janam Tara, what is your moon nakshatra. Now guys, coming to the planet Saturn. So just because this whole discussion is about understanding your pending karma, so over there, guys, the Saturn's placement in the house, in whichever house it is placed, that will definitely give you this idea that in which specific area of your life you will find the maximum resistance. But at the same time, your capacity to attain greatness, your capacity to influence masses and do something substantial is going to be very strong. In a way, we can say this thing that your capacity to lay foundation for something very concrete, very substantial, that is the house where Saturn is going to be placed in your chart. Now when we taper it down, the minute you will reach the zodiac sign, now definitely zodiac sign will also play a very important role, because zodiac sign will create a theme through which the planet function its energies. But over here, because we are more concerned about the karma, about if Saturn represents your actions in this lifetime, so what is the soul lesson, what is the kind of your divine whisper which wants you to be in a path where you can actually kind of burn out all of your pending karma. So that is the kind of information which we get to know from the nakshatra of your planet Saturn. So guys, now we will shift our discussion to the reference charts for today. And out of the 4 charts which I have randomly selected, first chart is of Muhammad Ali. Now definitely you must be knowing about this person. When we talk about goodness, when we talk about becoming a voice of the masses, or bringing attention towards all those downtrodden people or all those people whose rights have been subjugated, Muhammad Ali has got a league of its own, like becoming a shining example of being a role model. So now guys, in his case, now as you know, someone who is a boxer, looking at his chart, if you will look at his 10th house, because right now we are focusing more on the Saturn's role in the chart. So now if you will look at the 10th house, definitely Mars and Saturn are placed. Like if you have to be a warrior, if you have to be a fighter, so somehow Mars and Saturn actually contributes a lot over there. And definitely for someone to be a boxer, Aries energy and Mars plays a important role. So Saturn looks like to be debilitated, although Saturn's debilitation is getting cancelled because it is placed with a planet which is placed in its own sign. Now the second thing is that now we will take our attention towards in which nakshatra planet Saturn is placed. So now guys, if you will see over here, Saturn is placed in Kritika nakshatra. Now one thing which defines Muhammad Ali is that his speech, like how critical he could be with his words. Not only he is very quick in throwing punches in the ring, but even outside of the ring, the way he used to debate, the way he used to motivate people, all of his motivational quotes and all, but most importantly his cutting edge speech. So that is how you can say that, because the Saturn's nakshatra lord, because Kritika is a nakshatra which is being ruled by the planet Sun, and that is placed in the 7th house. So definitely he was able to acquire the mass support, but the route through which made government his enemy, or he was always at loggerhead with the government, which we can see over here, the way planetary energy is functioning in his case. So guys, now I want to simplify things now, because I am very much sure that after this you will be applying the same principle in your chart as well. So guys, all what you have to do is that first of all you have to see where Saturn is placed in your chart, which planetary influence it's placed over there. After that, if you have to understand the deeper underlying principles, the calling of your soul regarding the actions which you have to perform in this lifetime. And with actions, all what I mean to say is that you have to endure and you have to go through, you have to burn all those pending karmas. So that is the information which we get to know from the Saturn's nakshatra. Saturn's nakshatra in his case is Kritika. The lord of Kritika is Sun. So as you can see, public life, mass support, but getting into arguments, debates, specifically in trouble with government, we can say, or we can see through his chart. Now guys, second is the case of Mahendra Singh Dhoni, Indian cricketer. Now definitely guys, because he is a self-made man and growing from such a humble background and reaching those dazzling heights of success, so his chart definitely has to have some say that how Saturn actually helped him, because no matter which dasha you are in, which planet has got a rulership over your 10th house, whenever we talk about all those people who become the masses favorite, all those people who achieve greatness, Saturn has to be in a strengthened state. So now guys, in his case, in Mahendra Singh Dhoni's case, as you can see that his Saturn is placed in the 4th house. Now Saturn's placement in the Virgo, a sign which is favorable to it, is generally considered as good. Now we will look at that Saturn is placed in the Virgo in the 4th house, but in which nakshatra it is placed. So Saturn in the 4th house is placed in the Hasta nakshatra. So now guys, Hasta is a nakshatra which is somehow connected with your hands. Like Hasta prominence can actually make someone very skilled. Now definitely that is the only reason that irrespective of him started his career in some entirely different field, somehow athletics, somehow sports was his calling. And now if we will look at that where the Hasta's Lord, like Hasta is being ruled by the planet Moon, where Moon is placed. So Moon in his case is placed in the third house. So now how can we connect the dots? So just looking at Saturn's placement in the fourth house, that too in the Virgo, we definitely get to know that, because whenever we talk about public, fourth house plays a very important role. Saturn is placed over there conjunct with Jupiter, and that too in a favorable sign, which is Virgo. But within Virgo, if we have to understand that whatsoever actions he will perform, whatsoever karma he will exert, he will perform in this lifetime, what could be the deeper underlying principle on which the energy of Saturn is going to be operating? So we got to know the energy is of Hasta, being very skilled, being very professional, being very disciplined. And where the Hasta's Lord, planet Moon, is placed, that is placed in the third house, which can be a good indication that whenever we talk about anything to do with the performing arts and all, so that sort of skill which you are born with, we can see in Mahendra Singh Dhoni's case as well. Now guys, after this, the third reference chart for today is of Arnold. So definitely guys, this is a person who is a role model for so many youth and youngsters who want to make it in the bodybuilding, who want to get into Hollywood or films. And along with that, not only he remained a shining example of success in all these fields, but also even in the politics as well. So the same principle which we are following, because if someone has to be good and life has supported him, people have supported him in all these ventures, then definitely Saturn would be acting out favorably in his case. So if you will look at his main Lagan chart, main ascendant chart, Saturn is placed in the second house conjunct with Sun and Venus over there. Now superficially, just on a very first sight looking at the chart, Saturn is placed in a sign which is not very friendly to it, which is Cancer. So now does that mean that because Cancer, fourth house, these are some of the entities which represents masses? And also guys, when we talk about all those people who are irrespective of being talented, they're not able to become masses favorite. So even over there, Cancer, fourth house, these are the chief concerns. So how can we see that in his case, whether you talk about his soul lesson, whether you talk about the lessons and the actions which he was meant to perform in this lifetime, a journey which soul has been continuing pursuing from past so many lifetimes as well, that we will get to know from Saturn's nakshatra. So Saturn is placed in the Cancer, but it is placed in the Ashlesha nakshatra. Now guys, Ashlesha's lord becomes planet Mercury. Now where Mercury is placed in his Lagan chart, so Mercury is placed in the first house, and that too it is placed in its own sign, which is Gemini. So definitely guys, this is a kind of a typical yoga where no matter how much hardship you will face, how much resistance you will face, how tough the going is happening in your case, but life will still give you a chance. Life still will put you on the epicenter in whichever field you will be in. Because like the way guys, I always say this thing, it hardly matters how talented you are. Important is to getting the right set of opportunities at the right moment at the right times. So in his case, dignity of Mercury in the first house not only make him a good performing artist, will make him a very good orator, very good speaker as well. And that is how the energies of Saturn has operated in his case. And the last example guys for today is of Jim Carrey. So definitely guys, when we talk about like comedian, when we talk about being so versatile in your skill, so Jim Carrey is a shining example of that. Now definitely we all have watched all those motivational videos where I still remember, I guess there was this portal where I once heard him saying this thing, that he set up this target for himself that one day he will become a star in Hollywood, and he wrote a check of certain amount and put it in his wallet of a specific date that 5 years down the line I will have this much money in my bank account. So guys, when we talk about this level of determination, willpower, that too in a field which is filled with so much competition, definitely your fourth house has to be strengthened. That inner drive and motivation has to be there. So in his case guys, as you can see that he is a Libra rising person, and the fourth house is concentrated with 1 2 3 4 5 6, almost 6 planets. And guys, generally when we talk about the life of comedians and all, you will definitely find a degree and sense of loneliness in their early teenage years, and that is the only reason they create those fictitious imaginary characters and they start performing and working with them. I guess that was a similar story with the Robin Williams as well, and that is somehow in his case this would have been similar situations because his moon is exalted, but it is kind of in a Kemdrum yoga being in the 8th house. So moon is kind of isolated over there. But again guys, the only thing which we have to see is that Saturn's nakshatra, Saturn is very well placed because 6 planets are placed in the 4th house, but most importantly the sign lord is strengthened over there. So the whole foundation of that house and with so many planetary concentration is very potent. So in which nakshatra Saturn is placed? Saturn is placed in the Uttarashadha nakshatra. So again guys, Uttarashadha is a nakshatra of the planet Sun, and Sun is also placed over there in the 4th house. So definitely guys, drive, motivation, confidence, and also guys, because when we talk about art and creativity and specifically human psychology, understanding the pulse of the collective, so an exalted moon and over and above that being in the 8th house might have definitely helped him, like all the omens, all the indications, taking the right decision, being at the right place at the right time definitely helped him in his professional journey. And moreover guys, if we talk about doing something so of such a great magnitude, so definitely guys, in his case a strengthened 4th house and Saturn's nakshatra lord as well being conjunct over there definitely helped him in his life journey. So yes guys, that was just a brief video on the topic of that if you want to understand anything to do around your profession, around your karma, about any of the connection from the past regarding your present actions, your present undertakings. This could be out of the turn success, this could be consistent problems at your work front, in your career, whatsoever you set out to do, consistently you're being faced with criticism, rejection, opposition, Saturn will give you answer. It's not only where Saturn is placed, not only in which zodiac sign it is placed, but also in which nakshatra it is placed and what the nakshatra lord of Saturn is doing. That will definitely give you deeper insight. So yes guys, this is something which I wanted to say as a part of my inputs. For further more updates and notifications on the divine science of Vedic astrology, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and like my Facebook page. Dhanyavad.